What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called The Forever Purge, starring Ana de la Regura, Josh Lucas, and Tanote Huerta. First of all, as you can see, there's the Nightmare on Elm Street poster in the background. That's something called my genre setter. And so from now on, or for right now, each time the genre changes, that poster will change. But I only have that poster for right now. All right. Another thing that I'm doing differently, I usually don't do reviews on movies that I haven't watched at least a majority of the franchise before this one. Alright? But with this one, it's different because I've only seen the first Purge. But I figured each Purge movie was slightly different within the plot anyways. It just had the basic Purge premise to it, but a different storyline nonetheless. So I said, what the hell, let's watch this. Alright? Now I would have done this same thing with The Conjuring, but I haven't seen any of The Conjurings leading up to the recent one. So that would have been a bit of a confusion right there. A lot of confusion. So, the question is, will this Purge stand out from the rest? Will it be its own story? Will it be its own thing? We're about to find out. Let's go. The Forever Purge, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware. Now, you might not be aware if you just don't give a crap about the Purge movies at all. All right? And they all look the same to you. And I can see where that could be a situation. But other than that, you know the Purge is around. You know this exists. You cannot ignore it. All right? The Forever Purge is pretty much about a Hispanic couple named Juan and Adela who fled from Mexico years ago for a situation I cannot mention right now. But they fled from Mexico and they went to Texas. Alright. Juan started working as a cowboy for a very rich family. He's sort of a horse whisperer. Something like what the Widow, Black Widow, did for the Hulk, he does with horses. Alright. And Adela works at a restaurant. So, the thing about this, the family they're working for, there's a certain family member who doesn't agree with this cultural dynamic they're in. Alright? While that's going on, the Purge has been reinstated. And within a few days, the Purge will start again. Now, the Purge starts and it happens and then it ends. Or so we think. Until the next day when it continues on and on and on and on and on. So much as bringing up the Forever Purge. Right? And that's the premise of the movie. Positives. This is what drugged me into this movie. This is what got me to get up out my seat and go see this movie. The trailer, the plot, the trailer, the storyline. This is the most realistic outcome if there ever was a real Purge. This is how it would go. Because if a government first of all, if a government is issuing a purge, a yearly purge, that's crazy already. That means we've hit rock bottom completely. But another thing, if they also do this, even after the first purge night, they're not going to stop purging because the law says so. And so that makes so much sense. that this movie would be put out, because this is the movie that should have been put out first, in my opinion. All right, it's a lot more logic heavy than the other ones. I'll say that. All right. A second positive about this: the mayhem built up around this. The hysteria, it felt so real. The chaos in the streets, the carnage, people dying left and right, the rallies, the riots. That's exactly how things are going to go down. I felt the aura, that it was so like intense. That intense aura that gave off by this movie doing that. All right, that fear that you're going to have walking out into the street at night, daytime, whatever. That's how it's going to be. That is exactly how it's going to be if there was an actual purge like this, and it kept going. All right. Another positive that I took in from this movie did a great job of holding on to relatable topics. All right, the topics were not make believe or fantasy. This is things that are really happening. The issue with illegal aliens and border control and all that. That's what's supposed to be the new spark that brought the purge back, right, for this movie. And that is absolutely something that would happen in, that part would happen in real life. People are so angry about illegal aliens and who's coming into my country. And so I'm not going to get into all that political stuff, because I don't like diving into politics like that. But I could so see this happening. All right. People get so worked up over politics and religion. The two major subjects you can't even bring up in a bar, right? Definitely realistic right here. In that aspect. Now, negatives. Let's get to it. There was a problem that I found that depleted immediately. The relationship or the feud that was supposed to spark off between Juan and, I can't remember his real name in the movie. I would call him Josh, his real name in real life. Josh. All right. You have on one side, you have a cowboy, or, son of a real cowboy who was raised to be all American. And, this is this, and anything that's not American is he doesn't want it in his backyard, right? Then on the other side, there's Juan, who's just trying to find a better life, a better surroundings that he can live in. That's all he's trying to do. But still he's not from this country. He's a visitor. And the way that Josh was raised, he's not feeling that. He's not feeling the family coming to be integrated with their family. He's not feeling any of that. Everybody else is down for it. He's not. All right. And so when you first are introduced to this little war of differences between the two, it seems like jealousy, because Juan has the Black Widow powers. And, I don't think that the son is able to do any of that. And so I see the jealousy already popping off and starting there. But the further down the line that you go with that feud, it doesn't really pan up. It doesn't go anywhere. I don't want to say what happens, but a lot of people who watch a lot of movies can already guess what they're going to do. And what they should have done, but they did not do. All right? And it was almost too easy. the way that it happened. You know, from where I saw it, somebody could have been the easy antagonist here. And somebody else could have been the protagonist of this, and that would have been that. You could have worked so much with that. But the route that they went, it completely dropped what was going on between Juan and our friend Josh. I did not like that. It was so weak. So weak. Another negative about this. Let's just say that there could have been a whole lot more to this movie. A whole lot. Now, while the riots and the mayhem and the chaos and the carnage was all not a great thing, but it really got you going. It really sparked a lot up and brought a lot of intense feelings. When you get to the inner story of what was going on with the characters, the individual characters, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't enough risk with these characters. Now, when you're thinking of Purge, you don't know who's going to get sacrificed. You don't know what's going to happen to who. And you want to keep that vibe through the entire movie. But with this, no one was really, I hate to say this, no one was in really a lot of danger. Yes, maybe 1 or 2 lives were really, really taken. You know, within the groups that we follow. Besides everybody on the outside that were just like, were extras. Within the group we follow, you're almost by the end of the movie, let's just say this. By the end of the movie, you really have no worries about who's going to make it out and who's not. All right. You're like, okay, I'm pretty sure this person's safe. That person's safe. That person's safe. And I do not like when they do things like this in a supposed horror movie. All right. It almost seems like they made this for little kids or something. I'm not saying that, but give me more risk. Give me more risk. Surprise me. Shock me. Okay? Shock me on who's gonna take the big one. The fatalities in this. The last negative that I found for this movie. This movie had a majority of B-line actors and actresses. All right. I recognize Ana de la Reguera from Land of the Dead or what? Army of the Dead. All right. She was in Army of the Dead, and she was in a whole lot of other movies as well and shows. I recognize her. Everybody else in this movie, I do not recognize, except for the Big Papa Daddy, Caleb Tucker of the Rich Family. He's in so many movies. Good character, by the way. But besides that, this cast was just, it wasn't strong enough. It wasn't a strong enough cast. There weren't enough splendid actors or acting in this movie to keep me interested. All right, they could not carry this movie by themselves. In other words, they needed at least one more big actor or actress, at least one more. And because of that really hurt the movie in a lot of ways, in my opinion. All right, it hurt the movie in so many ways that I was just waiting for the movie to be over, honestly. And so with that, I have to give this an eh. I'm giving it an eh. That's right. I'm giving it an eh, man. The only thing that kept me holding on to a majority of this was just the plot. The fact that this plot stood out from the other purges. All right? This seemed like something that you think would actually happen if this were an actual law. You know, I could see this playing out the way it played out. But it just wasn't enough after that to be a really good movie at all. So my thing is this: if you've seen all the purges, do I need to see any of those in between? The election, the anarchy, the first one? Let me know in the comment section. I want you to push that like button, share this video. If you haven't subscribed, you better subscribe.